Brilliant performance from Leipzig, obviously so much improved compared to that draw last weekend. 7 points off Bayern Munich at the top of the table. Are they out of this title race still, Stevie, despite what we saw today from them?
Listen, I don't think you can say they're out of it. Do I believe that they can win the title? I don't think so. I think they're actually where they should be. I think they are the third best side in the Bundesliga. And that's exactly where they are. You know, I think Dortmund, going forward for me, Dortmund are pretty sensational. Bayern, I've just got a bit of everything, including the experience. So for me, Leipzig, I think are the third best side, and I think that's where they're going to end up. I don't think they're going to be challenging for the title.
Now, depending where you were in the world watching this, you'd have had two separate feeds today. One had a crowd pumped in, the other just had the stadium effects. It was the first time in the US where we were watching it that we had the crowd pumped in, the sound effects there, and it was something that initially you kind of thought, why are they doing this? But Ali, I thought it worked.
Well, I'm with you, Dan, in saying that initially it was a little odd. It's a little weird because you're hearing this atmosphere and then you see the stands and there's nobody in the stands. And so once you get past that initial sort of, well, this is a little odd, and then you start focusing on the action on the field rather than the action off the field, then it just felt like the background noise that you hear in any other game. And so I didn't mind it. I have to admit that initially I was kind of taken aback by it, but I didn't mind it. And I'm not one of those who's infatuated with, let me hear what the coaches are saying, and the players, and the communication, and everything that is going on the field that lets us some sort of a behind-the-scenes look as to how the communication works on the field. I don't need all of that to appreciate what's going on out there, and so therefore, I kind of prefer the background noise, and I kind of prefer sort of the singing of the fans, even if it is fake singing of the fans. I enjoyed it, to be quite honest with you, but yes, at first I was a little taken aback by it.
Stevie?
It's a little weird. I mean, let's be honest. All of a sudden there's noise and singing and there's nobody there. I can take it or leave it, to be quite honest with you. I have no problem just concentrating watching the game, and quite honestly, I kind of forgot about the background noise, and then all of a sudden I realised it was there, and I just thought it felt a little weird. So I can take it or leave it. I don't care either way. Once you concentrate on the game, then I don't even hardly notice it, to be honest.
It wasn't the only innovation we saw this weekend. We saw Borussia Mönchengladbach have their crowd send in pictures, which would then be turned into cardboard cutouts. 13,000 of them did. And you think, oh, this is a stupid idea as well. But actually, that looked good. That looked much better than empty seats as well, Ali.
Well, and so here's what I would do if I were any of these teams next weekend. I would put the cardboard cutouts there and then pump in the noise. And now we're cooking. Now it's something, because now you have the actual presence, or at the very least cardboard cutout presence of fans out on the stadium. And so from those of us watching from afar on the TV, it looks like there's somebody there, and then you're hearing the noise from people that are not there, but it feels kind of like somewhat close to normal. It's still weird. Yes, I agree with Stevie. It's a little weird to kind of get used to it, but if you see the semblance of people in the background and the semblance of crowd noise, and now you're just watching the game out on the field, it all kind of feels somewhat normal. I'm all for it.
I actually played at Highbury when the old Arsenal Stadium, and when they were doing up behind one of the goals, that's exactly what they had, and it actually was far better, because I've also played at stadiums where they've just got a building site behind the goal, and I can assure you, even playing, it feels better. So I'm 100% with the cardboard cutouts. I think it definitely makes a difference.
It'll be interesting to see then if we'll have some sort of cardboard cutout yellow wall. This week it is the Klassiker Borussia Dortmund taking on Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, big favourites going into this, Ali. Very impressive at the weekend. Dortmund with the win, maybe not as scintillating as they were in the opening week of action that we saw. Bayern Munich are big favourites, Ali. Is that fair?
It is fair in the sense that I think Bayern Munich, and the only real rival to Bayern Munich is Bayern Munich themselves, and perhaps the danger of complacency. And we saw that early on in the second half against Eintracht Frankfurt when they go up 3-0, and you think, okay, from here on now they're just going to destroy this team. And for a period of 10 minutes, they lost concentration, they lost focus, they were thinking about something else, probably thinking about Borussia Dortmund and just kind of looking ahead. They got complacent, didn't pay attention to details, and allow Eintracht Frankfurt into the game, or back into the game. That didn't last for long, because once again, when Bayern Munich decided to start playing, then the difference was very clear between the two teams, and you see the full potential of Bayern Munich. I just think Bayern Munich is much better than everybody else, and Dortmund, you have to think about the fact that the potential absence of Mats Hummels, and what does that mean for that team. And then defensively, they continue to have their issues. And I just think whenever they get tested, you're going to find that this is a team that will allow goals. The other thing that I would say is that Bayern Munich would have gone into Dortmund playing against Borussia Dortmund in front of those fans, and that would have made a difference. But now, given the current circumstances that we're in, well, that doesn't quite play a part any longer. And so whatever advantage you thought Dortmund had, that advantage is now gone. I repeat, I think Bayern Munich is their own enemy. They're competing against themselves, and any sort of serious, full, solid performance from Bayern Munich would be too good for Borussia Dortmund.
Hummels has reiterated the fact that he thinks he'll be fine for Tuesday, Ali, but even that is going to be a big uphill task for Dortmund. What's your prediction? What's your score, Ali?
I'm going to go Bayern Munich 2-0. And I think it's one of those performances in which Bayern Munich says, all right, people, all right, relax, okay? We're going to go on and win this thing. You guys can battle for everything else.
Stephen?
Yeah, it's hard to see past Bayern. You know, I mean, Hummels might say he's okay to play, but he's carrying an injury. And when you've got the likes of Piszczek on the outside of him as well in the back three, I just don't see how they don't lose goals. I'm absolutely going to go Bayern. I'm going to go 3-1, because going forward, Dortmund can create and score goals. So I think they'll score, but unfortunately not enough. And Bayern will win the game 3-1.
Meanwhile, it was confirmed, wasn't it, this weekend, the government giving the green light in Spain for the return of La Liga action. That is going to be in 2 weeks' time. Just taking a look at all the matches that are due to take place, it will be match day 28 in La Liga. Real Madrid at home against Eibar. Meanwhile, Barcelona away against Mallorca.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.